A $3 dark berry extract is currently regenerating dead brain cells and restoring lost memories, but leading neurologists have spent the last 2 decades aggressively hiding this clinical truth from the public. They are absolutely terrified because this cheap, natural compound permanently reverses the cognitive decline they claim is incurable. If you are watching your mind slip away, forgetting names, dates, and the faces of your own family, you are the victim of a multi-billion-dollar medical cover-up. Today, I am blowing the whistle on the corrupt neurology industry and giving you the exact permanent biological protocol they desperately tried to erase. You do not have to lose your independence. Your brain is perfectly capable of rebuilding itself, and the master key to that regeneration is likely sitting completely ignored in your local health store right now. You need to understand the brutal, unforgiving financial reality of modern neurology. It is an industry built entirely on the concept of managed decline, never actual reversal. Walk into any high-end memory clinic today, and what exactly happens? You are subjected to hours of humiliating cognitive tests, forced to draw clocks and remember strings of random words, only to be given a grim diagnosis and a prescription for a synthetic chemical that does absolutely nothing to stop the actual death of your brain cells. The doctors will look you directly in the eye with rehearsed, faux empathetic expressions and tell you that cognitive decline is just a tragic, unavoidable part of aging. They will tell you to simply get your affairs in order. That is not just a lie, it is a highly profitable, medically sanctioned scam. The pharmaceutical giants that fund the medical schools, underwrite the research journals, and sponsor the lavish neurology conferences have precisely zero financial incentive to cure your memory loss. A patient who regains their sharp, youthful mind is a patient who never comes back. They are a lost revenue stream. The system is meticulously designed to keep you trapped in a perpetual state of slow, agonizing deterioration, draining your life savings, your retirement funds, and your family's generational wealth at a staggering rate of $10,000 to $15,000 a month for substandard memory care facilities. They want you compliant, confused, and dependent on their expensive, side effect-laden medications. Look closely at the drugs they force upon the elderly. These are synthetic acetylcholinesterase inhibitors that merely artificially pump up neurotransmitter levels for a few fleeting months, while the underlying brain tissue continues to rapidly die and decay. They cause violent nausea, severe tremors, and dangerous drops in heart rate, completely destroying your quality of life, all while the medical establishment applauds these toxic compounds as standard of care. In the late 1990s, independent European researchers began studying isolated populations in the harsh, freezing climates of northern Scandinavia. These populations had virtually zero instances of age-related dementia. Their seniors remained razor-sharp, highly active, and mentally invincible well into their late 90s. When the researchers isolated the exact biological catalyst, a specific dark pigment found in a wild indigenous fruit, the results of the cellular trials were so groundbreaking they threatened to collapse the entire Alzheimer's drug pipeline overnight. The compound did not just protect existing neurons, it forcefully stimulated the growth of brand new brain cells in the hippocampus. So, the medical establishment deployed their standard suppression tactics. They buried the studies. They published completely unrelated trials using the wrong, genetically modified versions of the fruit to prove it was ineffective. They aggressively lobbied to ensure this extract was never classified as a medical treatment. While I must explicitly state that this information is provided for educational purposes only, and you should always consult with a healthcare professional before altering your medical regimen, you must urgently question if that professional is serving your best interests or the financial interest of the pharmaceutical cartels. They have stolen the golden years of millions of seniors to line their own pockets. The silence surrounding this $3 extract is not an oversight. It is a calculated crime against the elderly. To grasp exactly how this suppressed protocol permanently rescues your mind, we must expose the massive, deliberate medical deception regarding how the brain actually ages. The corrupt medical narrative insists your brain is like a machine that simply wears out over time, losing cells that can never, ever be replaced. This is biologically false. The actual mechanism destroying your memories right now is a vicious, microscopic combination of severe cellular oxidation and the aggressive accumulation of a toxic, suffocating cellular sludge known as Lipofuscin. Imagine your neurons, the delicate, branching cells responsible for every memory, thought, and emotion you possess. Every single second, They burn massive amounts of glucose and oxygen to generate the electrical impulses of your mind. This intense metabolic engine naturally creates exhaust, highly reactive, unstable molecules called free radicals. In a healthy, youthful brain, your natural antioxidant defense system instantly neutralizes this exhaust. But as you age, heavily bombarded by modern environmental toxins, artificial food preservatives, and chronic stress, this defense system completely collapses. The free radicals begin to violently attack the delicate lipid membranes of your brain cells. This is lipid peroxidation. It is literally biological rusting inside your skull. As your neurons rust and decay, they leave behind a dark, toxic waste product, Lipofuscin. This age pigment clumps together, physically suffocating your remaining healthy neurons, blocking their ability to communicate, and eventually crushing them to death. This is the true, hidden cause of your brain fog. This is why you walk into a room and instantly forget why you are there. Your neural pathways are literally choked with microscopic garbage. The pharmaceutical industry completely ignores this, choosing instead to chase highly profitable, completely useless theories about amyloid plaques, which are merely the brain's desperate attempt to bandage the rusting damage. But the specific dark pigment found in this European extract operates on an entirely different, incredibly powerful biological axis. It is packed with a highly specialized class of extreme environment antioxidants called anthocyanins. However, these are not the weak, genetically diluted anthocyanins found in the watery, oversized fruit sold at your local supermarket. These are wild, highly concentrated, survival-grade molecules developed by plants forced to withstand months of freezing darkness and intense, blistering summer radiation. Because of their unique, ultra-small molecular structure, these specific anthocyanins possess the incredibly rare ability to effortlessly shatter the blood-brain barrier. The blood-brain barrier is a microscopic fortress designed to keep toxins out of your brain, but it also tragically keeps most synthetic drugs and weak, over-the-counter supplements out as well. Once these wild anthocyanins smash through that barrier, they act as highly aggressive microscopic bomb squads. They hunt down and instantly neutralize the free radicals ravaging your hippocampus. The rusting of your brain cells stops within hours of the first dose. But that is merely the beginning. These powerful compounds then forcefully activate a dormant genetic pathway in your brain, known as the NRF2 pathway. This is the master switch for your brain's internal, heavy-duty cellular waste disposal system. It triggers a biological process called autophagy, where your brain cells literally begin to eat, digest, and clear out the decades of toxic lipofuscin sludge that has been suffocating them. The pathway's clear. The electrical signals begin to fire at youthful speeds again. And then, the true miracle occurs. As the toxic sludge is cleared away, these wild anthocyanins directly stimulate your brain's production of nerve growth factor and brain-derived neurotrophic factor. These are the mandatory biological architects of neurogenesis. Your brain is chemically forced to begin physically sprouting brand new, healthy, highly functional neurons in the exact areas devastated by memory loss. The science is absolute, peer-reviewed, and completely undeniable. The entire biological architecture of cognitive decline is halted and systematically reversed at the cellular level. The only obstacle is that the corporate medical complex has spent 20 years ensuring you never learn exactly which extract to use or the highly specific method required to prepare it. The miracle compound they have so desperately tried to keep out of your hands is the pure, wild harvested extract of the Nordic Bilberry, known scientifically as Vaccinium myrtillus. Now listen to me with absolute unwavering focus. Do not immediately drive to your local massive grocery chain and buy a plastic clamshell of giant, watery, cultivated blueberries. Those are biologically useless. They have been aggressively crossbred for size, shelf life, and sugar content, completely stripping them of the potent, brain-healing anthocyanin medicine. A commercial American blueberry is white on the inside. It is nothing but sugar water and empty fiber. It will do absolutely nothing for your cognitive decline. The true Nordic bilberry is a tiny, incredibly dark, intensely astringent fruit that grows wild exclusively in the unforgiving, freezing, acidic soils of northern European forests. If you break it open, the flesh is a deep, bleeding, almost black purple all the way through. That intense dark flesh is the pure, concentrated anthocyanin medicine. Because the medical establishment refuses to utilize this, you must bypass their system entirely. You must source a clinical-grade, freeze-dried extract of wild-foraged Nordic Bilberry. The extraction method is absolutely critical. You cannot use a heat-extracted powder, and you cannot use a liquid tincture preserved in cheap alcohol. Heat instantly destroys the fragile, brain-healing molecular bonds of the anthocyanins, rendering the powder useless. Alcohol degrades the specific lipid-soluble components necessary to cross the blood-brain barrier. You must strictly demand a cold-pressed, completely freeze-dried extract that guarantees a minimum standardized concentration of 25% pure anthocyanins. This exact specification is the difference between reversing your dementia and continuing your terrifying decline. When you secure this incredibly potent extract, you cannot simply swallow the powder with a glass of tap water. The harsh, highly acidic environment of your stomach acid will aggressively attack and destroy the fragile anthocyanin molecules before they ever reach your small intestine for absorption. You must create a biological escort, a protective lipid matrix that safely shuttles the medicine through your digestive tract and directly into your bloodstream. This requires exactly two highly specific, easily accessible household ingredients. First, you need pure, unrefined, organic, cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil. This specific oil is packed with oleocanthal, a potent anti-inflammatory compound that simultaneously calms your gut lining and binds perfectly to the bilberry extract. Second, you need high-quality, pure sunflower lecithin. Sunflower lecithin is incredibly rich in phosphatidylcholine, the exact same structural fat that makes up the protective membranes of your brain cells. It acts as the ultimate biological Trojan horse. Here is the exact, uncorrupted daily preparation protocol. Take a small, dark glass jar. It must be dark glass to protect the extract from UV light degradation. Pour in exactly 1 tablespoon of the extra virgin olive oil. Add exactly 1/2 teaspoon of the pure sunflower lecithin powder. Whisk this aggressively with a small fork until the lecithin is completely dissolved into the oil, creating a cloudy, thick lipid base. Finally, carefully measure exactly 1/2 teaspoon of your clinical-grade freeze-dried Nordic Bilberry extract. Pour it into the lipid base and stir methodically for a full 2 minutes. You must ensure every single microscopic particle of the dark purple powder is completely encapsulated by the olive oil and lecithin matrix. You have just successfully created a highly stable, maximally bioavailable neuroregenerative compound. The administration of this dark purple matrix must be executed with flawless clinical timing. This is not a casual supplement. This is an aggressive biological intervention designed to rebuild your mind. You will consume this exact preparation strictly once a day, and the timing is completely non-negotiable. You must take it exactly 45 minutes before your heaviest, most fat-rich meal of the day, which for most people is dinner. Why? Because taking it before a heavy meal perfectly primes your gallbladder to release a surge of natural bile. This bile aggressively emulsifies the olive oil and lecithin matrix, pulling the highly concentrated bilberry anthocyanins directly through your intestinal wall and blasting them directly into your bloodstream at peak, massive concentrations. When you consume the matrix, do not simply swallow it immediately. Hold the dark, oily mixture in the back of your mouth, swishing it gently against your cheeks and under your tongue for exactly 30 seconds. This allows a critical percentage of the volatile neuroprotective compounds to enter your bloodstream directly through the sublingual mucosal tissues, completely bypassing the liver's aggressive filtration system. Here is the precise, undeniable timeline of cognitive restoration you will experience. Within the first 48 hours, you will experience a strange, almost cooling sensation in your head. This is the immediate, massive drop in neuroinflammation as the wild anthocyanins aggressively extinguish the microscopic cellular fires raging in your hippocampus. The heavy, exhausted, suffocating pressure of chronic brain fog will begin to violently crack and lift. By day 5, the NRF2 pathway is fully activated, and the massive cellular cleanup of toxic lipofuscin sludge is well underway. This is when your sleep architecture completely changes. You will stop waking up confused in the middle of the night. You will fall into a deep, incredibly restorative REM sleep because your brain is finally able to properly drain its metabolic waste without the crushing interference of oxidative stress. You will wake up feeling a sharp, almost startling level of mental clarity and aggressive energy that you have not experienced in decades. By day 14, the raw biological magic of neurogenesis begins to permanently rewire your failing memory center. The crippling daily frustrations of cognitive decline will begin to completely vanish. You will effortlessly recall complex grocery lists without writing them down. You will perfectly remember the names of people you just met. The terrifying moments where you forget a word right in the middle of a sentence will completely stop happening. Your vocabulary will return, sharp, articulate, and completely fluid. But day 30 is the absolute undeniable turning point. By the completely strict adherence to this protocol for 1 full month, your brain has physically generated a massive influx of brand new, highly functional neurons. The structural volume of your hippocampus is actively regenerating. Your family will be absolutely stunned by the transformation. The vacant, confused look in your eyes will be completely replaced by the vibrant, sharp, deeply engaged spark of your true self. The irritability, the depression, and the constant silent fear that shadows every single day of cognitive decline will be entirely eradicated. You will have permanently reclaimed your independence, your precious memories, and your absolute right to a vibrant, dignified life. You will have completely defeated the corrupt medical establishment that bet heavily against your survival. Do not wait a single day longer while your brain cells continue to silently die. I have placed secure verified links in the exact description below this video to the highly specific, clinical-grade, freeze-dried wild Nordic Bilberry extract, as well as the pure sunflower lecithin you absolutely need to create this neuro-regenerative matrix. Click those exact links right now to secure your supply before the corrupt pharmaceutical cartels completely ban these powerful, unpatentable compounds. Subscribe to this channel immediately, hit the notification bell so you never miss a hidden, life-saving protocol, and share this urgent video with anyone you love who is secretly terrified of losing their mind. The truth is out there, the science is absolute, and your memories can be permanently saved.